Hey everybody, it's Jeremy from Mission to Zyxx and the Young Old Derf Chronicles, and I want to wish everybody a happy kickoff to the MaxFunDrive. It's 420, which means we've got 2 weeks of maximum fun coming to you. It's the best time to support the show. It's the best time to listen to Young Old Derf Chronicles, to Mission to Zyxx. We've got so many episodes that are great, and you know that we go a little crazy making stuff for you guys to enjoy. I hope you've been enjoying our Mission to D6 D&D adventure that we've been doing for the last few months, in addition to the Young Old Derf Chronicles. You've got until May 1st to support the drive, but if you want to support Young Old Derf Chronicles or others on the network, maybe Eurovangelists, today, and help us kick off the drive with a nice strong start, head on over to MaximumFun.org/join or click the link in the episode notes. Easy peasy. We know Mission to Zyxx fans are a really, really lovely bunch of folks, so we are honored to have you as our backers. Please enjoy this little show we put together for you. Thanks, everybody.
Welcome to Casters on Casters, conversations about the art and craft of podcasting with the masters of the medium, rulers of remote recordings, beasts of banter. On today's show, Jeremy Bent, Mission to Zyxx and the Young Old Derf Chronicles. Austin Taylor, Secret Histories of Nerd Mysteries. Content warning: sensitive language may be to follow. This is Casters on Casters.
I don't know that I ever get to really talk about my shows. So, Austin, for all my listeners, can you tell them about the magic of Secret Histories of Nerd Mysteries?
Yeah, I can. So Secret Histories of Nerd Mysteries is a niche nerd pop culture comedy podcast. And there's so many adjectives every time I talk about this show.
I understand.
And I wish there were less adjectives. I also wish it was easier to say. These are the things you don't think about when you make a show. You're like, that's a good name. You're like, I have to say it a lot.
Yeah, frequently.
All the time. People are like, what's your podcast? I'm like, man, don't ask me that.
Here we go.
But yeah, so we've talked about things like, how we got started in winning cartoons, what killed light gun games in arcades.
Oh, no.
What else have we done? We've talked about the production of Little Nemo in Slumberland, which is a movie a lot of people have just forgotten.
Yes.
And so much more. I'm very curious. So you also have a very niche show.
I mean, I have arguably two niche shows.
two very niche shows.
Yeah. I have a show called Eurovangelists, all about the Eurovision Song Contest, which in Europe, extremely popular. In America, not very well known, which is sort of the whole point of the show. Mm-hmm. It's a big, crazy pop music spectacle that happens every single year in Europe since 1956. And we've only been covering it since 2024. But guess what? A lot of crazy stuff has happened in those last 3 years that we try to cover on the show. It's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. It also dives unintentionally deep into European geopolitics, as is necessary to make the show. So if you're interested in either of those, you might enjoy that show.
I would not expect to learn about European geopolitics.
Well, here's as an example, Russia used to be in Eurovision.
Yeah.
And I bet you can guess when they were not allowed to compete anymore, as Ukraine also is in Eurovision. So,
well, there you go.
My other niche show is Mission to Zyxx, which, like your show, has too many adjectives. It is an improvised sci-fi comedy adventure show that ran for 100 episodes, and we put to bed and then thought, let's do a prequel series, as the show frequently goofs on Star Wars. And so we thought, what if we goofed on Star Wars some more and did a prequel series? So now we are doing a show in honor of our shitty Obi-Wan Kenobi character, Old Derf. So this is the Young Old Derf Chronicles. So we're seeing him before the events of Mission to Zyxx, and sort of learning how he became a Zima Master, which is sort of our version of a Jedi Master.
Oh. That's so something I do want to say that I admire about both of these shows. As someone else, I mean, I feel like all the shows on the network are kind of niche. It's kind of our thing here. But I really appreciate the, like, because I have a niche show, but my niche show is like, we will do sort of any weird thing, right? We have a big umbrella of nicheness.
Sure.
But no, your shows are very like Eurovangelists. It's like we're talking about the Eurovision singing contest, or it sounds like European geopolitics.
Yeah, it depends on the episode, to be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, the crazy thing about Eurovision is like you would think like, oh, they're going to run out of stuff eventually, and it's like we have been making the show for a little over 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
We have barely scratched the surface of Eurovision.
Wow. Is when it's Eurovision season?
Yeah.
Is that like how accountants get stressed at tax season? You're like, oh, okay, everybody, it's Eurovision season, because it doesn't air at like American times either. Like you gotta be watching stuff late or waking up earlier.
The lucky part of it is I'm in Los Angeles, so that like the late night shows in Europe start at like 9 or 10 a.m. usually on a Saturday for me. So I'm like, that's fine. That's okay. I'm happy to watch that. The problem becomes there are certain weekends known as Super Saturdays in the Eurovision season where like 5 or 6 different countries will have them at the same time. And in Europe, you're probably only watching the national final for your own country. But we are outside of Europe, and we are like, well, we're trying to cover everything. But that means some weekends have to watch like 14 hours of Eurovision stuff. It's a lot, is what I'll say. It's not all good, Austin.
That sounds like and then you have to make the show.
And then I got to make the show. Literally, as we're recording this, I have just finished editing our last like Super Saturday episode of the season. And it's like, I'm a little tired. And I am looking forward to not having to watch that much every single weekend now. Now, I got a question about Secret Histories of Nerd Mysteries.
Yeah, it's awful to say in the mouth. I'm so sorry.
I mean, Mission to Zyxx, after we made the show, we were like, we should not have called it Mission to Zyxx. Nobody can spell Zyxx. We have to spell it almost every single time we say it on the show. It's very annoying. I'm a nerdy person. When I see the like titles of your shows, I think, that sounds interesting to me. Like just seeing like the many failures of Atari is like, well, that sounds like something I would listen to. You know what I mean? But what qualifies, like there's nerd stuff. There's nerd stuff everywhere. But what qualifies a nerd mystery? You know what I mean? What is a nerd story that makes you really want to like sink your teeth into it on the show?
A nerd mystery is something that either I don't have the answer to by finding it simply on Google, or the answer that I find on Google doesn't make sense to me.
That is a good metric.
I did an episode on Shadow the Hedgehog. I don't know. I think 8 Shadow the Hedgehog things in my recording space alone.
Okay,
that's not counting the merch upstairs in my bedroom that my partner thinks is gone, but don't tell her it's not.
Okay, I'll keep it quiet.
But I did an episode on Shadow the Hedgehog, and there's this well-known like fan theory that Shadow the Hedgehog originally started as this hedgehog named Teros. Like Teiros, Teros.
Okay.
And that was like a very like, that's what the fandom always said, blah, 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 blah. And then they made a Shadow the Hedgehog Generations video game where they had a Teros skin. And to me, I'm like,
what?
That doesn't make I was like, okay, so they have this skin for Shadow, but I'm like, this doesn't feel like I'm a Shadow like diehard. I was like, this doesn't feel like Shadow. And so I was just super curious. I was like, I don't think Shadow and Teros are meant to be the same hedgehog. And so I said it, and like everything online is like, they are. And I found from an interview that someone from Team Sonic had done San Diego Comic-Con in like 2013. It was like I found it like archived in the Internet Archive. It was like this long.
This is like some Indiana Jones internet shit here, where you're like
exactly.
digging
I was
up
like,
MP3s from like another era. Yeah,
I'm down in the Internet Archive. I'm scrounging through whatever web pages people have saved, but I found the audio of this like panel that he did, and then the panel, and then I translated. So I have a minor in Japanese, so I translated it. Because there was a translator there, but I was like, I want to be sure for me. So I translated the panel that he did. And then he was talking about, he talked about Teros. He's like, yeah, we were developing this hedgehog and we decided we wanted to scrap that and then we made Shadow instead. So I was like, they're different.
That's different characters.
Those
That's
are
two different dudes.
Yeah. They're two different dudes. It wasn't, we were developing him and then we changed all of his whole being.
We renamed him. We scrapped him and created a
him.
new hedgehog.
We made a new guy. And I was like, that's a new guy, everybody.
Interesting.
So it's stuff like that, or things like, even if it's things that are like, we think are easy to find, me and Brenda use the internet in a way that other people don't. And I'm not saying anyone else should, because that's why we have our show. You should instead go on down the Secret Histories of Nerd Mysteries and listen to us do it. Because it's things like, did you know the first style for a choose your own adventure book is actually from two women in the 1930s, about a good
wow, that far back?
30 years before the first choose your own adventure book.
Oh,
that
that's great.
Branded. Or even how we got Monopoly, right? Like a woman invented the game that is Monopoly. And I know a lot of people know this one because apparently there's a whole NPR story about it. And I was like, well, we did it first.
There was. I also read a book called It's All a Game, which is like a history of board games. And there was a whole chapter about Monopoly. And it is weird that it has become like a capitalist fantasy game when it was originally intended to be like, capitalism is bad. We're killing people this way.
It literally had meant to be the entire opposite effect. And it became like, yeah, but a little capitalism could be fun, right?
Can I share a Monopoly fact with you that you may or may not know? Did you know that Monopoly sets were used to smuggle maps and tools to British secret agents in POW camps in World War II?
That's wild. I did not know that.
That is a fact I got from this book. It's All a Game. It's quite good.
I'll check that out. I've not heard of that one. I know the reason why we even know that Monopoly history is because the Monopoly tried to sue a college professor for making his own version of Monopoly.
Right.
And then this college professor was like, I'm a college professor with tenure. I have nothing but time, and dug up all of these archives and found that they had there was a proof of concept before their game and that they had gone back on this contract and all this stuff. And I was like, that's crazy. All because you guys tried to be like, this is our original IP and no one else has done it before. When they knew, that's what's wild. The company knew. I'm like, you guys know that's a lie.
Yeah, interesting. It's like, how you got the rights to this game.
Don't
pretend you don't know that.
You know you're lying. And then they got caught. And that's why I have on my shelf, I have 18 different versions of whatever Opoly.
That's very interesting to me, the way that you are sort of doing nerd deep dives in a way that your audience probably doesn't have time to do, or maybe just is not, because I truthfully think Eurovangelists serves a very similar purpose, is we have many people who are fans of Eurovision, but most people do not have time or the desire to watch 14 hours of Eurovision, even if only a couple weekends a year. And they much prefer listening to us talk about it and tell them, this was really goofy and crazy, or this song is actually an absolute banger. You should listen to these. And we sort of sift through all that stuff. And you're because there's a lot of songs where you're fine, it's fine. And we don't talk a ton about those songs because it's they're okay. And I don't think you care about that. But if it's really bad, we know you want to hear about it. And if it's really good, we know you want to hear about it. Yes, you could watch all the stuff that we watch and then listen to us commentate about it. Or you could just listen to us and be like, that sounds crazy. Well, time to go to work. You know what
I mean? Exactly. I think that's something that's an amazing thing about podcasts in general is just we take the time to sift through the stuff for if you really want to know, but you're I don't have time or don't know where to start or whatever. And I think it makes sense because it is I do want to know about when Eurovision's happening, I kind of know because the general internet will see the really bad ones because people will make memes.
Always. Because
it's so goofy.
Yeah, the songs from last year that everybody that sort of escaped the Eurovision containment bubble were Sweden had a whole song about that was called Bara Bara Bastu, which means simply sauna, or just take a sauna, and it's literally three guys who are Finnish, ironically, but three guys competing for Sweden in brown suits, and the whole stage becomes a sauna, and it's this very sort of absurd kind of song about how great saunas are. It's really stupid. And then the other songs that escape are the really horny songs.
Yeah. The really horny ones do get out, and they are horny.
They are horny. Man, last year was a horny year, I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, what was the horniest song?
Well, okay, I'm gonna give you two, and you tell me which one you think is hornier. there was a song from Malta by a singer named Miriana Kante who had a song that was literally called Kant, K-A-N-T, which is Maltese for singing.
Oh.
But the chorus of is do, re, mi, fa, so, serving Kant. Great song, absolute bop, terrific singer. And then Finland sent this woman, Erika Wikman, who's an unbelievable singer and performer, and who was supposed to go in 2020, and then 2020 was the only Eurovision to ever be canceled. And she showed up last year with a song called Ik Komme, which means I'm coming. And it is not subtle about the double entendre. She literally rides a gigantic spark shooting microphone at the end of the number.
Oh, okay.
They were both extremely horny songs. I don't know where you fall on that spectrum.
Those are, I think the sparking microphone.
It's, man, when she's on that microphone, you're like, okay, I do get it. I do get it.
It feels like it starts to cross that line of like past horny and past absurd into like, I get it. I get it.
It's like, no,
I get it.
It's clear. The message has been received. And like, neither of them won, but like, nobody will forget those songs. Those songs are nuts.
Yeah.
I know I asked before of like, well, what makes it a mystery as opposed to just something that's interesting? But it's like, sure, but once you find the mystery, how do you then like shape it into an episode?
So the first thing, I'll talk about my process because I honestly don't fully know Brenda's. I know Brenda's incredible, and Brenda's been doing this longer than me because Brenda has a YouTube page that's like the same premise, but it was just Brenda by themselves. And so like, I'll think of a topic, and usually the first thing I'll do is I'll try and think of the closest thing I can that's like a big umbrella and go to its wiki. Because like we did one on the Shaquille O'Neal movie Steel from 1993. No. What year was it? 1996.
I was like, I remember it coming out because I would have been a very young teenager, and I'm like, I even when it came out, and even as a teenage nerd, I was like, I'm not going to see this.
Yeah, it was. I remember because the same year as the Olympics, and he's in the Olympics,
right?
So that's
right. Okay, so that's 96.
96, and so we did one on that, and but the thing I was like fascinated by was we did it recently. It was Black History Month recently, as we record this for everyone else. It's been a few months now, and I was like, I want to do something. But we had done a lot of stuff. We did things like, things that were like bigger that made sense to do way back when we were like not on network. And I was like, I want to find something that's like niche. And I was like, oh, what about the first like big Black superhero movie? Because a lot of people say like, oh, isn't it like Blade? Or something. And I was like, no, Steel comes out a year before it. Technically,
it's the first good Black superhero movie.
Yeah, exactly. But Steel is a year before it, and it's a DC property technically. And I say. Technically, because they got the rights, and then they got a director/writer who didn't want to make a superhero movie, and he made it very clear, and they got what they got.
I have never watched the film, so
what I'll say for Steel is this: you can tell everyone that was on camera really believes in the movie.
That's a nice thing. That's good that happened.
I found the production notes in the Internet Archive, which was wild.
That's crazy.
And every note I could find on Shaq was he was like the nicest man anyone had ever met. So
this is what I hear about Shaq pretty consistently.
Yeah.
But also like think about Shaq's life is like he was a legendary basketball player, and now he was also an actor and a rapper.
Yeah.
And like kind of now just gets to do whatever he wants. He's in a million advertisements and nobody complains like, hey, Shaq's in every ad. And it's like, nobody cares. It's Shaq. Well, he's great.
He's also like Shaq. It's weird to read about it because like he started all that acting like right when he got out of college, also with basketball.
Yeah. Yeah, truly.
And so it's weird because like growing up and watching it as a kid, like when I was on VHS or whatever, it was like, oh, well, of course Shaq was in this because he's famous, but he wasn't super famous. No, I mean, he was a big deal. Like, he was a first-round draft pick, which is a big deal for basketball. He was an all-star his rookie year, which no one had done since Michael Jordan. But he wasn't, like, household name. Like, open a movie is, like... Yeah, he, like, got it. I mean, like, he just had such a clear intention on where he wanted his life to go. He got done with school. He got signed to a major basketball team, and he's like, I need an agent to start branding myself yesterday. And I mean, it worked. You know, he owns Papa John's now. I think he owns the masters to the Beatles now.
That's crazy. My good friend went to LSU, which is where Shaq went to college.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has a mild obsession with Shaq. And so when he came to visit me in LA, he wanted to go to Shaq at a chain of fried chicken restaurants in LA called Chicken Shack, which checks out. And he's like, I really want to go to Chicken Shack. I was like, let's go. And we went. And I got to say, it was pretty good.
Nice. Yeah. I'm like, if you watch Steel, I will not sit here and say it's a good movie. It's not. But you can also be like the little, like Shaq got all the kids on set, like they're like a toy. He got one little girl, like he built her a terrarium and got her like a pet lizard she always wanted. And like, I'm like, at least like he's a nice guy.
He seems like an all right guy. It's like, regardless of your feelings about John Cena,
mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, he's the record holder for Make-A-Wish by like an order of magnitude. Like he's done like 3 times as many as the next person on the list. And you're like, I mean, how bad of a guy could he possibly be?
I'm like, you can have opinions about him, but I'm like, he can't be a bad guy.
Yeah, he can't be the worst person in the world. It just doesn't make sense. Austin, I feel like we could yak about podcasts pretty much all day, as is our way. But is there anything you learned making your podcast that you feel like, oh, this is a good hack, or maybe is just applicable to other parts of your life?
I think the best podcast hack we have figured out is probably so you mentioned you edit Eurovangelists.
I do.
Brenda edits our show, so I don't know about that stuff. But the thing I do find that works really well for us with editing is Brenda taught me the silence trick at the beginning of the audio track, and then she like takes out all the ambient noise. And anytime I tell that to people who don't already have a bunch of editing experience, they're like, that is a pretty interesting hack. And so
I get that room tone.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like Brenda told me the very first episode we had, we like started and I started talking. Brenda's like, no, shut up. Brenda's like, be quiet for like 15 seconds and then we can talk. So I think it's that. What about you? What's your like podcast hack?
I don't know that I have a good, like my production. What I've found by talking to other people who like edit and stuff is like my production pipeline is completely different than somebody else's. And so like all the stuff I do is like, doesn't really match what they do. But one thing that really kind of blew my mind, we went to Eurovision last year, which blew my mind in its own.
Awesome.
Which blew my mind in its own right. It's insane. And it was very fun, but it was also slightly overwhelming. There were songs that we had basically shit on for like 5 months straight for being bad. You meet, when you go to these events, you meet someone who is a fan of every song, every single song. Like a song that we were like, this is almost universally the worst song at Eurovision. A girl had made a whole jacket and put the title of the song and a whole design on the back of the jean jacket, had painted it herself. And she had come to see this guy perform. And this guy didn't even make the final, which we were not surprised by. But she was like, no, this song's great. I love this song. I hope it gets in the final. And we were like, What I'm learning is that it is hard to judge. Like, there is no universal good or bad when it comes to art.
Yeah.
Everyone's take is valid and everyone's take is probably different than yours. Yeah. And I try to keep that in mind when I'm shitting on a song mercilessly. And I don't know that I'll ever be able to stop doing that, but I do have moments of like, there's somebody out there who likes this song.
Yeah. You know, one thing I want to say, like something I always say on the show is like, if you like this thing, that's totally fine. And if you hate our opinion, that's also fine. Yeah. If you want to be angry about it, I don't know what to tell you. Go buy a Yeti mic and you can tell other people how great it is. And you know what? I'll commend you for it. I'll say good job.
Yeah, truthfully, I would love for a Eurovision podcast to pop up in opposition to our podcast that just take contrary positions on every song. I would love to listen to that show. That would be a delight.
Yeah.
But most people won't because they don't have that. They don't have that dog in them.
No, and hey, that's okay.
That's okay.
And for all you listening, we're glad that you have the listen dog in you.
Yeah, we're glad you. Yeah, because truthfully, I burn out on podcasts because I spend a lot of time listening to my own voice. So
Yeah,
I'm glad people out there have that listen dog.
People, you listeners, you guys hold the fort down, because I also burned down on podcasts a long time ago. But some people out there, like, I listen to 40 hours of podcasts a week, and I'm like, you're incredible. You're a superhero.
Bless you, and bless your heart. I love that you do that. So thank you to all of you, especially you, the Max Fun listener. Thank you for listening to this and being part of our fun little MaxFunDrive here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Make sure you hit up MaximumFun.org/join.
That's right. And you can support a whole community of cool folks like yourself, like Austin. Like, I don't know if I'll put myself in that category, but sure. Yeah, myself too. We love that you listen to the shows. We love that you support the shows. So MaximumFun.org/join.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
Supported directly by you.